mean, just the scale of the whole film, the fact that we shot over 120 sets, we're transforming Los Angeles back into the 1920s.
Hi, Florencia.
Hi, Jana. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to talk to you, especially because you're having a great year, right?
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
Blonde, Babylon. You have Licorice Pizza last year, so
Yes.
I think you're doing really good.
Thank you so much.
So let's start like from the beginning. How did you transitioning from creating LA from like 97 Licorice Pizza, passing through Blonde and going to the 920s on Babylon?
I mean, for me, research is a key ingredient in order to create these films. I step into a lot of historical research and also finding people that, are storytellers and or part of the characters from the script. So in the 70s, obviously there's a lot of people that are still alive who were able to, tell us the process and what these environments were like. And then, reading into the 50s and retracing Marilyn's footprints through Los Angeles. It's just always an incredible honor to be able to film these stories where they took place. So retracing the steps and making a plan with your team of how you're going to actually achieve that, because obviously the city doesn't look like the 70s, the 50s, or the 20s. So then it just takes an immense amount of research in both the environment and then the story that we're trying to tell and the world we're trying to create, and looking at emotions and moods and creating a backdrop for my team to be able to have images to look to during the process of design.
Yeah, I noticed some like familiar places that I think I have been there too. I'm not sure, but
Really?
some of them are very like familiar. I don't know why, but how was like for you to create? How many sets did you have to create, and did you use actual like theaters here, like that we still have them right now?
Yeah, we had over 120 sets, and we needed to shoot sets that you could feel the barren desert. So we had to go to the outskirts of Los Angeles to find that. And then we also shot in historic properties like the Los Angeles Theater for the premieres. And we actually transformed the Ace Theater into our ballroom for the beginning sequence of the Don Wallach's party. So Damien wanted to do everything in camera, practically. So we've scouted for a very long time to find locations for the kinescope studio and the battlefield and the interior homes like Jack's house, this beautiful Spanish villa that oversaw only mountains, to really tell the story of early Los Angeles before any development and what it felt like to be in this desert that was resource poor, and the world that these dreamers were trying to create that was bigger than them.
Yeah, you mentioned about the Ace Theater. That's when I saw that scene, I was like, oh, I think I've been there. I'm not sure, but I think I've been there.
That's
But
nice. Yeah.
yes, but anyway, like that to that scene, like there is like the production design, the costume design, the cinematography. How is this conversation, to get everything so there is a harmony there that it's so beautiful, that scene, especially that scene. How did you guys come up with that? Like so beautifully done.
I think in that scene, so in the Don Wallach's party scene, the early kinescope scene when Nellie first comes to the studio, and the battlefield, we had incredible cross-team department collaboration. A lot of that is timed to the music, to Justin Horowitz's amazing score that we had available in pre-production. So Damien, he wanted to really get everything in camera. And so we worked closely with Lena Sanagram, our amazing cinematographer, to get this epic scale of each of these spaces. And with Mary Sofres to study the color palette. We had this desert outside of LA, and we wanted to show a contrast of these worlds that they were creating in color. So we looked to using a lot of strong color palettes and textures, and the interiors have a lot of intricate textures to contrast the exteriors. And then obviously with my team of over 160 craftsmen in construction, plasters, painters, our set decorator, Anthony Carlino, and our prop master, Gabe Perello, who, took so much time to get all of those details of the period correct, and then work together with special effects to have explosions in the party scene, to have chairs that fly through the air and break, and stunts, people flying from the balconies, the band and all of those instruments. And our choreographer, we rehearsed in a dance rehearsal space that we taped out 2 months before we started shooting, and we go every week and watch how the rehearsal was progressing and how people would dance on the table. So it was an immense collaboration, and so fulfilling the first day of shooting when we had this amazing camera that Linus built that flew through the air to get big and wide and come back and land right on Sydney, that was all timed to the beat, and watch Damien like a conductor, in front of the monitor, seeing all this happen. It was just a really incredible feeling.
Yeah, no, I think that is the magic. You guys are like, do the real magic, you know what I mean? We always talk about the actors, but I think this crew behind that fascinates me. That's the part that also I want to ask you, like you mentioned about the exterior shots, right? So LA, like California, is different, but it was very difficult to find the mountains that there's nothing around.
It was very difficult because in film production, you don't always have the ability to travel far, because that means you have to put the whole crew up in a hotel, and there's a lot of expenses that go to that. So we were shooting in Los Angeles for Los Angeles. So we actually just started to push the map to the very limit. And there's this amazing community called Piru, Fillmore, Santa Paula, just on the other side of the San Fernando Valley, actually on the other side of the mountain, where they're still farming and they still have structures from the era. So, for example, Nellie's bungalow is actually out there in the desert in a 1910s bungalow. And then the Kinescope studio we built from the ground up on an orange farm that had all the mountains that were similar to the research from the period. And the big battlefield sequence is on an old movie ranch, Blue Sky, where you got these amazing vistas where we could really take over 360. And that was really important for us to be able to feel the environment and tell that story.
Yeah. Also, there is like a film within the film, right? So those images, like, did you have to create a different set for that? Like when they show like the black and white, and you know what I mean, when they are showing some of.
Yes. We actually so we are a film within a film. So we created all of the film sets that you see in the background. And then once Nellie walks into her film set for the first time, there's this amazing opportunity to actually shoot with a period camera and get the black and white footage on that set. So you see Nellie performing in the wild of this big, poetic, big outdoor film studio, standing on the bar, and then Lena shot it on a period film camera, and you see that footage. And then I did all the dyeing of the film strips in a big tank that we shot. So it was really beautiful because we all got to like create those images ourselves.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then for you,
on the screen in the movie. So we did that in real time. We had the film footage printed, and you saw it through the film editing machine, and then you see it projected, and you see Nellie watching herself. And then Jack, more tragically, watching himself. So it's pretty special to be able to do it practically.
That's amazing. And for you, like in this whole process, what was like your biggest challenge? I know everything's challenge, but
I mean, just the scale of the whole film, the fact that we shot over 120 sets, we're transforming Los Angeles back into the 1920s. And I'm so proud and honored with the team that I worked with that made this all happen. That was the challenge. And creating, it's always about the narrative and the story, and really looking at this kaleidoscope of architecture that was happening in Los Angeles in real time. That's what you see here on the streets. You see a Tudor house next to a Gothic house, next to a Spanish house. And that's because they had a blank canvas, and everyone who was coming to the city was creating their version of opulence and wealth. And so looking to Europe and New York and all these architectural mismatched styles. So, the challenge was, how do you convey to the audience and have the story of this desert and this depravity and this dream that they were creating?
That's amazing. Florencia, this is the time that I have with you. I just want to thank you so much for your time. A lot of success, and keep bringing out these amazing sets for us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We have to redefine the form. We've got to innovate. We've got to inspire.
I promised you a sight. You're getting a sight.
I am a star.
I think you want to become a star.
Honey, you don't become a star. You either are one or you ain't. I am.
There's so much more to be done. Whoa! This place you call home is the most magical place in the world. Fuck yeah!
If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.